everyone, today I'm going to be building a creeper farm, so let's Minecraft with Tess. Right guys, for this farm I suggest that you be in an ocean. You don't have to be, it's always advisable to build any type of mob farm in the ocean, but you don't have to, it's just a little bit more efficient. First I'm just going to drop down to the ocean floor and use a solid block of any type just to build up. Just so we've got a place to start our farm from. First guys, you want to go up 140 blocks using scaffolding. You can use a solid block and then use a ladder to get up and down to access your farm, but I just use scaffolding. It's just nice and easy. And just to make it a little bit easier, instead of having to count 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 140, if you have 2 full stacks of scaffolding and then 12, that will be 140. So you don't even need to count, you just need 2 full stacks and 12 and you're done guys. So let's do that now. I'm then going to make a little square around our scaffold as a safe area to get up, but I'm gonna then move it across. Ooh. So this is now 7 across this way, and I'm gonna make it 10 this way, so we've already got 3 there, so another 7. Now it should be looking like this. I'm then going to join these edges up to make a rectangle and fill it in. So it should be looking like this now. At this point I'm going to do it a 1 block high wall around the whole thing, just to help like when you're in your survival that you don't fall off, because it's going to be a pain climbing the scaffolding again, although you'll be safe because you will land in water. So now you look like this. Okay, next guys, you're going to want to put a double chest in the middle. You should have a 5 across thing now because you've got 1 across on each side of the 7. So right in the middle, you got 2 spaces this side, 2 spaces that side, and you have your chest there like that. And then on top of that chest, add yourself a hopper, just like that. And then on top of the hopper, add yourself a chest and another one next to it, like this, just so it's got a little bit of an extra collection for collecting your loot. I'm going to actually put 1 more on top of that, so we've got 3. So now guys, our farm is looking like this. We want to do just some solid blocks up the side. You can use any solid blocks you want, really. There's no particular one that you should use, as long as it's a solid block. And I'm just going to do some more around here just to block it in. But if you don't use the blocks going up, make sure you put a torch on the edge so it's lit, because if the area is not lit, it can allow the mobs to spawn there. Okay, your build is looking like this now, and just do a line going up on the other side just to tidy it up, make it look nice and neat. And join these up here like that. Your build is looking like this now. I'm then going to put some solid blocks just behind here. You don't have to, but it just makes it look a little bit neater when you're looking at it from this side, because this is your collection area where you're going to be getting your loot from, and it just looks a bit tidier like that, I think. Now we need to break this block so we can get in there and put some more hoppers down here. You need 1 there facing into the chest, and then you need another hopper facing into that hopper so the loot goes through. and then again another one on top here. So from here you're going to want to put 2 along there and then 3 going along there, so it's like a 2x3 rectangle. Make sure the hoppers are all facing into each other, otherwise they're not going to collect the loot properly and it just isn't going to be as efficient. Okay, so now we're looking like this. We now need to make a platform around our hoppers here. So now you're looking like this, and that level there is going to be an area for the rail hopper cart collection system. So we're going to have a rail cart hopper collection system here, but before we do, we're going to put another row of bricks here, so you're not going to be able to see it from this side. So all you're going to see from this side are the chests. Do that round this side. Okay, so it's looking like this. You now need to go out another 2 along this area here, just to make it slightly larger, like this. We now need to get the rail cart system in place, ready for the minecart hopper to go on, and that will be our collection system in place. So to do that, we're going to get some rails, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to break this block here, and I'm going to use a redstone block. The reason I'm doing that is because I want this rail here powered. So then we're going to come back on ourselves, go round again 1, and then come back on ourselves this way. And then we're going to put 1 there, and that should join that up. So we've got a little cart. The reason we're using a redstone block and not a torch is we're going to have torches above us, and if we put 1 down here, it will interfere with the trident killer system that is going to be just above. So you now have your platform that looks like this, but we're going to build it out a little bit here, like this. Just a few more. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to have a way to get in here using scaffolding again. So if it does need fixing, we can enter the farm and fix it. So a little walkway there. I'll just fly up so you can see what your build should now be looking like. I'll put those there. Right, now I'm going to put a block here and a block here. So space, block, 2 spaces and a block. I'm going to do a block here, and I'm going to come across and join those up, and then where I've put the blocks on each of the corners here, I'm going to add up and go around just like this. Kind of looks like a little mini castle, like this. And if you look, we've got a square here of 4 blocks, and they are directly above the hoppers. The reason for that is when the loot drops, it will be collected by the minecart and go down into those hoppers. So we're just gonna cover those up now, because we want our trident killer here, but we need our minecart hopper system here to be able to do it. I've left this bit here as a way of accessing the back of here, because sometimes the minecart will stop and you might have to give it a little bit of a push again, and every now and again it will just disappear sometimes when you have new updates and such like that. So I'm going to add a minecart on there now, and also I'm going to put some torches around our areas that things could spawn. So guys, you just add a minecart on and give it a little push, and it should now just keep going round and round and round and round and round and round forever. And let's get a couple of torches put down as well to stop any mobs from spawning. We just want to prevent that from happening. So just put them around. Your farm is now looking a bit like this. Your torches might be in slightly different places, but the rest should be the same. Now we're going to need a way of accessing our rail cart system. So along next to this block, go up with your scaffolding, but build it up to this level so it's 2 higher. The reason is there's going to be another platform level here, so you're going to want to be able to get into there, but you're also going to want to be able to access here too. So it's going to be kind of a double access layer thing. You're now looking like this. I always put blocks around the edge here. It just makes it safer so you're not going to accidentally fall off, but it's up to you. You don't have to do that part. If you're lacking blocks, then don't. No, just make sure it's well lit. So now you're going to want to put your front platform in and just build it up and across at this level to the same length as this one here. So it's just like a little roof on here. I'm going to put the blocks to the side again. Like I said before, you don't have to. That's up to you, but if you don't, add torches. So you're now looking like this. These 4 blocks that we put here are actually just temporary, but they help you to put the trident killer system in if you're not used to making a trident killer system. It's just a little bit more useful. So what you want to do with the trident killer system is come into the center, face it so the piston is facing inwards. So you've got a block, a piston, a space, a block, and again here, piston, space, block, piston, space, block, piston, space. So you're going round in the square like this, and then you're going to want to get your observer out. And observers can be a bit difficult to place, but there's something really useful with observers. The one side has a face, the other side has a red dot, and then there is an arrow on the top. So you're going to want to knock the block out, and where the block was, go this side and face this so the arrow is facing in to the piston. And you'll know you've got it right because you'll be able to see the little observer's face. And now you've knocked this block out, do the same here, arrow facing into the piston, come round, and you've got the little observer's face again here, and do that all the way round. The last one, if you find it easier, you can put a block back in, or if you just lay it and it goes the wrong way, just break it and lay it again. So you've now got a square with observer, piston, observer, piston, observer, piston, and the observers are all facing inwards towards the pistons. So this is what it's looking like from above, guys. Now we want to add our redstone torches to make the system work. I'm going to be putting a torch on the side of each piston so the observers' little faces are facing the torch. Like this, like this, like this, and like this. And then we need to put a lever down on here with the redstone there and just turn it off, and it should stop that from going around and around and around. You're then going to want to put some blocks around the edge of this. I'm actually going to move this one space over. I'm going to have that there, and then I'm going to from there come up here. So I'm going to move that there right down to that level, so when you climb up there you can go this way, but from here I'm going to move over one block. The reason I'm doing that is because I do want this covered. I don't want you to be able to access here, because if you can, sometimes you pick up the trident and you don't mean to, and it can just be a little bit of an annoyance. So if you just come up one block from the side there, it will be absolutely fine. Just make sure you go round in a circle around here to stop you accidentally picking up the trident. And now you've gone around the blocks, you need to go around them again, but go in by one. So you're like this. Okay, so you now look like this. Now knock these two out, because you're going to add some glass here and a slab, because that's going to be your collection area. Right guys, now get your glass and do it in a pattern like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And get your slab and put it here on top. You can use a slab or you can use a stair. The reason we want a gap here is so we can collect the XP, but we don't want the creepers to be able to kill us. So if that is not a solid block, the creepers will explode, and it will explode the whole system. So you must either have a slab or a stair there. That way you get the XP and the creepers don't explode you. Then look towards any piston that you can see and shoot your trident at it, just like that. It doesn't matter the durability of your trident, because in these machines the trident never loses durability. So even if it's very, very weak, with not very much health left on it, it's absolutely fine. It won't break. Occasionally, if you leave the machine switched on, or just for no reason at all, the trident will just disappear. So it's always useful to make sure you've got a spare one in the vicinity, so you can just add it in again, but you just shoot it exactly the same as that. Now when you turn this on, the trident will go around and around and around, and it'll actually kill the creepers, just like that. So let's turn that off again, and now we're going to build up our tower, which is going to be where the creepers fall down from. I'm just going to get the torches out and place a few around, because again, we don't want anything spawning. Now from this edge, you're going to want to go up 18 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. So you like this, and do that all the way around, so it makes a square at the top, guys, just like this. So it should look like this now. You've got a square hole that the creepers are going to fall down into the trident killer down here. Okay guys, now from here you're going to go to the square. You've got 2 middle blocks. You're going to choose one, either right or left. I'm going to go left, and at this point you're going to build out another 8 squares. Just like that. And then go back to your middle and do the same, but you must choose the same as you did before. So I've chose left, you can choose left or right, and do the same, 8. And do that for all of the sides, so you've got 4 points going out. So it should be looking a bit like this now. If you look at it from above, it's like a big kiss. Mwah! Now you want to put an edge onto your kiss like this, all the way around the build. Making sure that when you've got this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on this one, don't go all the way around the edge. Put it over the last block, because we're going to have water there, and water flows 8 blocks. So do that the same all of the way round. So now you've got a really, 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 really big kiss. Mwah! At this point, you want to go around all of the edges again, just so the X shape is too high. Just like that, guys. Now we're going to want to join up each of the edges here into squares, so they're like big squares, like so, and do that on all the sides. So it should be looking like this. Now fill those squares in with solid blocks all the way across, so they're like a flat platform. So it's now looking like this, guys. You can still see the kiss shape in the middle there, but it has the solid blocks all around it. And now around the edges here, you're going to want to do a line around the edges 2 blocks high around the entire build. Okay guys, now we're looking like this. And you want to put a platform to the same height, too high, along the edge that where there's not an overhang. Can you see there's like an overhang that goes one further? So you want to put it here, like that. And then on this opposite one, you want to put it here, because there's the overhang. And then this one here, and then this one here, like this. So you've kind of got a raised kiss on one edge but not on the other. And now we're going to want to use our water. To do this, you're probably going to need lots and lots of buckets of water if you bring them up, or you can make a water source by either doing a 2 or 3 water source. Sorry. So just on the edge, which you will be breaking shortly, just build out a little bit and make yourself a square like that. So you've got a square, and then this way you're only going to need 2 buckets, because you can keep refilling them. You put a bucket of water there in one corner, a bucket of water in another corner, and now you can see that it is still, and then you can just keep collecting buckets of water from it. So you only need to bring 2 buckets up with you. If you've got loads of buckets of water in a shulker chest or something like that, then that's absolutely fine. You don't need to do this piece. And then once you have finished using all the water, you can just fill it in and knock it away. But I haven't added the water yet, but I am in creative, so I can just use the 1 bucket. So you're just going to want to keep refilling your buckets if you only have 2 on you. And now we're placing the water at the far edge of each of the rows. Add here a bucket of water, and that should flow to this point, but not all the way. It should stop right on the edge. And again here, and the same here, and the same here. So if you look at it from above, our kiss is now blue. Now you're going to want to put water in each of these chambers as well. So you come to where the water edge is, you want to go to the opposite side and put a water bucket on every single one of the walls here along in a row. That will flow again to the edge, but not off it. And what will happen is when the creepers fall, they'll fall into here, and be pushed down into our kill chamber. You want to do that for all 4 sides. Okay, now it should look like this. If you've done it correctly, the water is not flowing into the center and it's looking like this. Okay guys, that is the kill system part of the creeper farm in place. Now we need to add the creeper mob spawning area. So let's get on with that. With this, we need to go up 1 block all around. And when we go around, we need to do it on these edges that we've got on the edge of the water as well. So we're going to make this another block higher. So now it's looking like this, and don't forget to do those inner walls, because otherwise you're going to leave spaces where other mobs could spawn, like spiders. And we're not doing a spider farm, we're doing a creeper farm. Now we've got that, you actually want to go along 1 more. So I should have said that we were going along 2, but I'm keeping you on your toes, guys. Okay, now it's like that, and then we want to put a floor in. So at that level, just add solid blocks all the way across, but do not cover the water here. So only go up to here and cover the solid blocks like this. And do that the same for all 4 squares. So guys, it should look like this. From above you can still see that kiss shape, but it's got the platforms back in, just like earlier on. Now we want to go around the edge again, like we did, but remember to also go up on the inner wall, and you know which one is right because it's the one that you've already got the wall built up on. So do that now. So you're now looking like this, guys. So what we're going to do now is start to add holes into these platforms, and I will show you where you need to put the holes. At an edge, so make sure you've got the drop part here, so you've got 3 sides, and the empty one, go to the very far corner, add a hole, and then leave a block, add a hole, leave a block, add a hole, leave a block, add a hole. and then go back a space and do the same. Just like that, and it should make 16 holes on each one. You start in the far corner, and this one is full along here, and that is fine. That is how it's supposed to be. So now do that for all the other 3 platforms. So this is what your build should be looking like at this point. You should have 16 holes in each of the 4 platforms, like so. Next, we're going to go around the outer walls again, up by 2, remembering to do these inner walls as well, because they are our primary walls. So we're going to build them 2 high. Okay guys, that is our first platform done without any of the buttons and trapdoors, but we're going to put the second layer roof on before I add the trapdoors or the buttons, because you're going to want some above your head. So we need the ceiling in for you to be able to see where they're placed. So we're going to do another layer exactly the same as it is below. So this is what I mean. We join it up, and we're going to do the same crisscross pattern all the way. Kind of looks like a chessboard. So if yours is looking like a chessboard, you've done it correctly. When you get to this bit, you might think, am I doing it right? Because this one's 2 and the rest are 1. Yes, you are, because you need to remember that this is a wall, and it's going to be a wall all the way up. So you are doing it absolutely correctly. It just can confuse you the first time you build it. So do that the same for all 4 sides. Alright guys, you're now looking like this, and you're going to want to go ahead, and where we've added this 1 wall, we want to make it 3 blocks high in total all the way around, because that's going to be the level for our next platform. Okay, now you should be looking like this. We're going to get some trapdoors and buttons on our inventory, and then we're going to go down to the first layer here, and we're going to start to add them in the correct places. We're going to use the cherry blossom trapdoors and buttons because they're pink and pretty. Also, at this point, I am going to add a torch on each of the layers. The reason is, it's not going to stay there, it's just there temporarily, because we don't want creepers spawning yet, because if they start spawning now, it could blow us up and destroy the build, and that wouldn't be ideal. So yeah, I'm just going to add a torch onto each platform, and then at the end I'm going to remove those torches. So on each of these holes, you're going to want to put a trapdoor, but open it, guys. The creepers will think that that is a solid block and walk over it and fall straight into the kill system area. Just like this. You're then going to want a button at each of these central points here, like this. You can tell that your button is in the right place because they're all on the long run of blocks where there are no gaps. Okay, the platform should now look a bit like this. You're going to want to put some buttons and trapdoors on the edge here now too. On the places that have buttons at the edge, add a button. And on the places that don't have buttons, add a trapdoor. Okay, the reason we have a button where there is a button and not a trapdoor is for a very simple reason. If you use a trapdoor here, and a creeper was to walk on the button, it would open the trapdoor and then the creeper would not fall. So we use a button to prevent that. And your whole area here, each floor is going to look exactly the same as this. But now we need stuff on the roof as well above our heads. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into this corner this time. Last time we went into that corner and did the hole. This time we want to go onto this corner where the solid block is, and above our heads add a trapdoor. Come back one and add a trapdoor. Come back one and add a trapdoor. Come back one, add a trapdoor. So it looks like this. And then on this row, next to the gap, we're going to add a trapdoor. And next to the gap, a trapdoor. Next to the gap, a trapdoor. All the way along to the edge. So every area there's not a button, we have a trapdoor above it. That's the way you can tell that you have done it correctly. And do that for the entire ceiling. Okay, so from underneath, it's going to look a bit like from above with the blocks, a bit like a chessboard, but it's covered with trapdoors instead. And there is nothing above any of the blocks where there is a button or a hole. If there is a hole, there is no trapdoor. If there is a button, there is no trapdoor. But if it's just a solid block, there is a trapdoor above it. You're then going to want to do that on all of these here, so all 4 are complete. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so now this is our 4 sides done, and this is essentially what a layer is. And you're going to go up and you can build as many layers as you like on this creeper farm. I wouldn't suggest doing less than 3 because the spawn rates just aren't going to be enough to make doing all this work worthwhile. So now, just as you did with the floor below a minute ago, join it up and add the sort of crisscross squarey chessboard pattern with your solid blocks, and do that again for the entire floor. Okay, so now you've got 1 layer and 2 layers with a roof, and that's the start of the 3rd layer, but it doesn't have a roof on yet. Add a torch in each of your areas again to prevent anything from spawning until we're ready and complete. And now we're going to do exactly the same with these floors as we did with those, with the buttons and the trapdoors. And by the time we're finished, guys, you're going to be a pro at this. Okay, now this layer is in, so we have 2 full layers, and you work on all of the layers exactly the same as you do before. Remember, on these layers you need to go up 3 because the space between all of these needs to be too high, because otherwise you could get all the different mobs spawning. You want a too high gap. So again, we're going to get on with layer number 3, and I'll talk to you again after we've done that. we have a wandering trader appear. The wandering trader has fallen off down into the ocean, but we've got ourselves a couple of pets. The way you looked at me then. Get in the hole. Bye. And now we have our third layer ready to build. So now you add in, as you have with the previous 2 layers, all of the trapdoors and the buttons exactly the same. Let's go, and I'll speak to you once we've done that. Okay, now we have layer 3 in, so let's get working on layer 4. Again, do it exactly the same as the previous layers. Okay, this is layer 4 in, ready to add in the signs and buttons. So let's do that. So guys, level 4 complete. Now on to level 5. Let's go. Exactly the same as you did before. So guys, now we've got the framework in for the 5th level. Let's get the buttons and the trapdoors in place. Okay guys, that is layer 5. I'm only going to go up to 5 layers, but if you did want to do 6 layers, you would just carry on going up and up as we have been. But to do the roof is slightly different, because what we're going to do is we're going to fill in these gaps. Where we've got the holes, we're now going to fill them in. And we're going to do that for all of the holes. Okay guys, your farm should now be looking like this. You've still got that lovely kiss shape. Mwah! How many kisses have you had this video? Lucky, lucky people. Ooh, makes you dizzy if you do that. I'm just going to go up and down and check that all the buttons and all of the trapdoors are there and in the correct places before I finish doing this roof. And as you can see, I've missed some trapdoors. It's easy to do, guys. This is why always having a final look and check over your build is always worth it. Wow, and some here too. Okay, I'm really glad I checked that then. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this last bit. But where we filled it in, we're going to place trapdoors along all of the blocks. Okay. And last but not least, guys, we're going to remove all of the torches. This is a really, really important step, because if you leave the torches in, the mobs aren't going to spawn. So you need to remove the torches so that it is dark. Oh, it's very dark now. What you can do is just break a little hole in the side and fill it up. You can either drop down into the water, you'll be absolutely fine, or if you've got a elytra, you can fly away. And one very, very important thing to remember is to put torches on the top of the build. The reason you do that is because of mobs spawning, and if it's not really well lit, mobs will spawn on the top here and you won't get them spawning inside as much, and it's just not as efficient. So make sure you do this part. It's really, really important. So as you can see, creepers have started to spawn. They will spawn, they will be pushed down into this area, and when I turn this lever on, the trident will move side to side and it will unalive the creeper and we'll get the gunpowder. So should we do that? By standing here also, any XP that you get will come out through the gap and you will collect the XP. If you stand here and you hold a looting 3 sword in your hand, although it's the trident that is killing the creeper, you actually end up with more than double the XP and more than, well, almost treble the loot. Yeah, it's definitely worth having looting 3 on your sword and holding it while you were AFK here. And you could leave your device on overnight, and when you get up in the morning you should have a lot of gunpowder and a good amount of XP as well. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. Let me know if you make this in your world and what you think of it. That would be awesome. And if you did enjoy this video, I think you'll like this one. Bye, creepers. Creeper go bye-bye. Creeper go bye-bye. Okay. Love you.